We're the federal agency, or work with federal dollars with Ocean County every month to kind of do important transportation projects, and we couldn't think of a more important thing to do than pedestrian safety. So we're here with a lot of NJTPA staff. They can raise their hand, but in particular I'd like to thank Keith Hamus. Keith is our project manager on this, and Will Yarzib, who is our Street Smart coordinator. So I just need a little round of applause for these guys, because setting this stuff up is not always easy. So the NJTPA is proud to be here to coordinate and support this Street Smart New Jersey pedestrian safety campaign, which literally is saving lives and contributing to our state's overall goal to help improve pedestrian safety in our region. We're here to launch a summer campaign on Long Beach Island, and we're also announcing several other shore partners this year. The campaign aims to raise awareness for both pedestrians and motorists, and enforce the laws and change behaviors so that we can see a reduction in the number of pedestrian crashes and fatalities in our state. I'd particularly like to thank Harvey Cedars for hosting us today. We have with us Michael Garofalo, Commissioner of Public Safety and Affairs. Where is he? Okay. There he's there. And we have Police Chief Robert Burnaford here. And also today we have Long Beach Township Police Officer Megan Keller, right over there. And retired Long Beach Township Police Captain Paul Verb. And I just saw him. There he is. Okay. So that's my way of making sure they're all here before I ask them to come up and speak. We also have Chad Dixon here from the Greater Mercer Transportation Management Association, who helps coordinate a lot of our efforts here. Laura Temple, I believe, from LBI Chamber of Commerce. And I want to particularly thank the police officers that are here from Surf City, Harvey Cedars, and Long Beach Township. So thank you all for coming out today and helping us launch this campaign. And speaking of launching it, I'd like to start by asking Commissioner Garofalo to say a few words about Harvey Cedars' participation in our Street Smart campaign.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to just start out by saying how proud we are, both Mayor John Oldham, Commissioner Judy Gerkens, and I, for hosting this summer kickoff for the Street Smart campaign. Harvey Cedars is a very unique town, as many towns are on Long Beach Island, where we really kind of live in two places. We have our summer season, which is coming upon us right now with the thousands and thousands of people that will be coming across the bridge, but we also have our winter season, which isn't quite as sleepy as it used to be, and the shoulder seasons as well, where they're busier than they used to be. But one thing remains constant: just trying to keep everybody safe. And that is a difficult task, and this campaign will certainly help us with that, because it's all about awareness. On a daily basis, we have a wonderful police force, and the men and women on it are vigilant, and their main goal is keeping everybody safe here in Long Beach Island, and in this case in Harvey Cedars in particular. It's important to understand that people walking to the beach, to this park, to our restaurants, or our downtown business community, that we need people to walk against the traffic, bicycles to flow with the traffic. We want our bicyclists to know that they should obey the traffic laws as well. With more pedestrians on this island, more visitors on this island, we just have to remain vigilant. We have to just keep reinforcing and reinforcing. And this type of program is going to be very important to help get that ball rolling. Participating in this will help us raise that awareness, keep that awareness in front of everybody, and mostly just keep everybody safe this summer. And with that, I just wish everybody a happy holiday weekend coming up. It's going to be pretty crazy out there, and this is a good time to be talking about what we're talking about today. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We've run these campaigns around the state, and you'll hear a little bit more about when I talk about that later. But there's really no better way to understand why we do this than to hear from somebody who's personally affected by a pedestrian fatality or something. Because it could be, when you're listening to his story, it could be your brother that he's talking about. It could be your child that he's talking about. So with that, I really want to thank Captain Verb for coming here and sharing with us a personal story to bring home really the message that we're trying to deliver today. Captain Verb, thank you.
Thank you very much. My story started on I guess, Memorial Day back in 1987. And it was a crazy thing. I was supposed to go fishing with my brother, and he didn't call, so we got a little concerned. And a day or two went by, I called, no answer. And my mom started getting a little worried, and she said, we should start checking the hospitals or something. I was like, Ma, don't worry, everything's okay, you know. He maybe went out with his friends or something, went on vacation. And about another day or two later, we started checking the hospitals because Mom knows best, you know. And next thing you know, I called University Hospital in Newark, and they answered, and they put me right into the intensive care doctor that was on duty in the brain injury ward. And next thing you know, he's asking me to describe my brother, any marks, tattoos, any kind of scars. And probably 4 minutes into the conversation, he says, can you get up here as soon as possible, because your brother might be in intensive care right now, and we don't know if he's going to make it through the night. So I stayed down with my mom. My brother came down from the Poconos and was able to get there a little quicker than me. And it turned out that it was my brother. He'd gotten hit by a car, and you don't realize, you know, when someone gets hit by a car, you know, that's the big tragedy. All the ambulances go there, the paramedics, they put him on life support or whatever to get him to the hospital, and they try to do whatever they can to, you know, help the person out and get him back to where he should be. This story goes on it went on for 7 years. He was in a coma, and it was tough. I mean, we used to go up there once a week with my mom, or twice a week. It was every day for the first month or two, and it got to be once a week, twice a week, maybe, you know, 3 times a week. And you start really dealing with the issues that happen, and it's amazing. You know, the accident was one thing, the emotional part's another thing, and dealing with every single part of that, besides understanding exactly, you know, the other people that are in these wards. Finding out that the gentleman next door was a dentist, and he got hit by a drunk driver while he was out on his daily bicycle ride. And he was, you know, basically a quadriplegic person. He couldn't talk, but he was able to use his one arm, and he was able to write things. And you say, hi, Paul, how you doing? I would say, pretty good. And that was it, though. I mean, he was there almost as long as my brother. I don't know if he's still alive, but he was in better shape to the point where he had some brain functions. It's crazy. And as long as I've been a police officer, I started in '87 as a full-time officer. I started as a special officer back in '84, but I kind of like used my job to try to help the community with getting grants and doing these ice cream tickets we had for little kids to wear helmets, because half the time I'd be walking the halls, because my mom always said, the hearing's the last thing that goes, Paul, and she'd be talking to them about what happened in the events that happened that week, and I would almost get a tear every time, so I'd have to leave the room, and I'd be walking down the hallway, and you'd be talking to another family that had a tragic story. And the biggest thing is preventative maintenance is not always understood, and you never see it because things don't break down. But Harvey Cedars, Long Beach Township, Ship Bottom, Surf City, Beach Haven, all the police departments here, they try to prevent the tragedies from happening. 9 times out of 10, when you look at the stats, you don't see a preventative stat because it's not there, because somebody prevented that accident from happening. What we have to do as police officers and retired police officers, you have to make sure that you're able to get in the community and teach the people that, you know, you're out there, make sure you're crossing in the crosswalk, make sure that that car's stopping. I mean, in my brother's case, the car skidded like 800 feet to it and finally ran into him. There's definitely mechanical issues in the vehicle, and there's also a situation where, you know, 800 feet, if a car's 800 feet away, usually you're pretty safe crossing. So he had to be doing he had to be speeding, and probably there's some other contributing circumstances. But as far as what I've strived for, and I know Long Beach Township still does with Megan. Megan's been doing a great job. We're trying to make sure that this tragic story doesn't happen down here. And as long as we can go out there and get out to the press, get out to the crosswalks, hand out the pedestrian literature that we can, and give the information out the best that we can. That's the most we can do. Enforce the speed regulations. I know back when Mayor Mancini, Jim Mancini back in the 90s, lowered the speed limits from 40 during the summer down to 35. That made an incredible 5-mile-an-hour difference, but that really, speed does kill. Pedestrian hit at 35 miles an hour has probably about 10 times better chance of surviving than if they're doing 45. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do to prevent these tragedies from happening. And I know as far as doing things like this, it's really good therapy for me. I'm on the Brain Injury Alliance in New Jersey now. I'm on the board of directors there, and I'm trying to help out, so people don't go through the pain and suffering that my family went through. And I think in the short part of what we're talking about today, pay attention, make sure. Don't always just think that car is going to stop. Try to get eye contact with it. Do the best you can. Wear bright colors if you're out there. Reflective vest if you're out at night. These are the things we need to do. And as long as I'm around, I'm going to keep on striving for that goal for everyone, so they stay safe and they don't have to go through what I did. So thank you very much for having me here today.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It really does bring it home. And as he was mentioning about speed, last time we were in Long Beach Island, we did a speed demonstration where we actually showed that difference between going sort of 35 or 45 and 25 miles per hour and what it can do. That video is on our website, so I really do recommend for those of you that want to be bigger advocates in this area, please check that out on the website, because it is pretty telling just how much difference 10 miles an hour can make in a person's ability to survive an accident or to avoid it at all. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, before Officer Keller tells you a little bit about Long Beach Island's participation in the Street Smart campaign, I wanted to talk to you about the efforts to reach more people than ever with our pedestrian safety message. For the first time, we are expanding, and I mentioned we were going to be in more places, our Street Smart activities beyond LBI to other shore communities. Our new campaign is going to include Asbury Park, Bay Head, Bradley Beach, Long Branch, Manasquan, Point Pleasant Beach. Local law enforcement officers and volunteers, we're working with Rutgers and others, will be handing out tip cards, and you will see signage at local businesses and around all of these communities, just as you'll see in LBI. In addition, motorists will see Street Smart messaging, encouraging them to obey the speed limit and avoid distracted driving, a whole new thing that we need to worry about. Our new message, heads up and phones down, will be at toll plazas on the Garden State Parkway. We'll have posters and tip cards at Parkway rest stops, and we're advertising and working very closely with New Jersey Transit as they run the coastline trains to the busy stations during the summer months along the Jersey Shore. So I want to thank New Jersey Transit for also bringing the Street Smart message beyond our 13-county region. NJTPA covers the 13 counties in sort of central and northern New Jersey, but we've got Street Smart signs and tip cards going on display at the Atlantic City Bus Terminal, Cape May Transportation Center, Ocean City Transportation Center, and the Wildwood Bus Terminal. So all of this is building on a very successful campaign we did in March. We worked with the City of Elizabeth. Now, I know a lot of folks come down to LBI from these places, so I want to kind of bring that Street Smart message from LBI back, and hopefully maybe some of you saw it when you in Elizabeth or Franklin or Hackettstown, Jersey City, Lakewood, Metuchen, Newark, Passaic, Red Bank, Toms River, and Woodbridge. So we've been out in all these communities. Over the next year, we're going to be working with our transportation management associations throughout the state to bring that Street Smart message home. We'll be evaluating the success of the campaigns that we've done earlier this year, and it's important to note that so far what we have seen, our evaluations show that we are effective. We are able to reach people with these campaigns. We found that we've been able to reduce non-compliant behavior, jargony way of saying stopping people from not using a crosswalk or jaywalking or people not stopping for pedestrians, but over 53% post our campaign. So changing behavior does help. We look forward to seeing the same success in the future, and this campaign is, again, I can't stress enough, it's about changing behavior certainly, but it's really about saving lives. Our slogan, "Check Your Vital Signs," is there because pedestrian safety is vital to everyone's well-being, and a lot of lives are on the line. So we have those 4 core messages you see around here: obey speed limits, stop for pedestrians and crosswalks. That's for the drivers. But the pedestrians have some responsibility here too. And we really want you to wait for the walk when you're at a signalized intersection, and we want you to please use those crosswalks. We've added a 5th message this year, I've mentioned, heads up, phones down, which focuses on distracted driving for the drivers and distracted walking. We have seen more and more of that, and I bet down here at LBI, you see that all the time. People going to the beach, they're at the crosswalk right where we want them to be, but their head's down, it's not up. Your head needs to be up. You need to be checking traffic. You need to understand, just give it a break for a minute, put your head up and be safer. The campaign messages were going to be all around town on our posters and banners. There's a big old billboard as you drive into town. We're going to be using social media as well as the tip cards. And you may wonder why we're doing this overall, all these places I've mentioned throughout the state. Well, unfortunately, it's based on national statistics. And New Jersey has a higher than average pedestrian fatality rate. For that reason, the Federal Highway Administration has designated New Jersey as a pedestrian-focused state, and the city of Newark actually is a pedestrian-focused city. Now, we have some statistics that show we had a 4-year period between 2009 and 2012 that there were 565 pedestrians killed, 17,000 injured in that period, which we all know sounds like a big number, but when you break this down, that means that 1 pedestrian was killed every 2.5 days. Somebody was killed. And 11 pedestrians in our state were injured every single day. That's too much. We need to stop this. Just last year, we had 166 pedestrians and 17 cyclists killed in crashes with motor vehicles. That's why we're doing this, folks. That's why we're here. Making travel safer for everyone has always been a top priority for us at the NJTPA. For many years, we focused on the engineering side of it, funding safety-related improvements to roads and bridges and intersections. But engineering and enforcement were just 2 of what we call in the field the 3 E's of safety. That third had to be education, and we realized we needed to pay greater attention to that. Street Smart New Jersey is one way that we're doing that. The ultimate goal, and it's a lofty one, I'll admit, is that no one be killed or injured. There doesn't seem to be a better target that's set than a vision for 0 fatalities in New Jersey. So 0 is our goal. We have some great information about our campaign online, bestreetsmart.org or at njtpa.org, and I encourage you all to check it out. And it's also a great resource for any of the municipalities around the state that want to use this information. It's all there. We have toolkits. We'll sit down with you. We will work with every town in this state if that's what it takes to get this message out. And the last thing I'd like to mention is that the State Division of Highway Safety is another great partner with us, and it's all helped Long Beach Township and many other municipalities across the street with additional grants for enforcement related to pedestrian safety. And they're also encouraging the use of our Be Street Smart vital sign messages. Now, Officer Megan Kelly, we've got to come here on a very busy day. I really appreciate her being there. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about what law enforcement can do and how we're going to demonstrate it here in LBI. So, Officer Kelly.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. I am Megan Keller. I am the Community Police Officer for Long Beach Township. And Long Beach Township was one of the first communities to pilot Street Smart back in 2014 in the summer. And we're actually really looking forward to this summer and this program here on the island, and that the other departments are joining us. Millions of visitors come to the shore during the summer months. People walk, jog, cycle across the island, and the influx of visitors also means more vehicular traffic. We want to make sure that everyone is safe enjoying their time here. We've worked with realtors to distribute thousands of tip cards in the rental packages. Thanks to, I gotta put a shout out for Renee Kennedy, because she's amazing. We're gonna also be interacting with pedestrians and motorists in an effort to get everyone to follow the traffic laws. Our law enforcement details will focus on speeding, illegal turns, distracted and inattentive driving, and walking. During the 2014 campaign, Long Beach Township had more than 1,000 law enforcement interactions. We issued warnings in an effort to get pedestrians and motorists to comply with the laws, and we also issued summonses when warranted. We like people to follow the rules, and we like to reward them when they follow the rules. Like pedestrians who use crosswalks, pedestrians that wait until they have the right of way. One of the ways we're going to thank them is with these t-shirts. So we have, also has some pedestrian and bicycle safety information on the t-shirts. I do have them in short sleeve as well. They're bright colors, so that'll help pedestrians and cyclists be seen. They also offer those safety tips, encouraging pedestrians to walk against traffic and cyclists to go with traffic. At the conclusion of this event, myself and Harvey Cedars officers are going to demonstrate law enforcement interactions with pedestrians and motorists right out here at the intersection of West Salem Avenue and Long Beach Boulevard. I'll be handing out some of those t-shirts to pedestrians who adhere to the laws, and we'll also be distributing some gift cards and coupons. Our message really is simple. We really want you to pay attention, and that safety should be a routine part of getting around for both pedestrians and drivers. Thank you.
Thank you, Officer Keller, and thank you to some of the sponsors who are providing some of those coupons for golf and ice cream and other things. So we really do want to appreciate the effort that everyone's putting out here to educating the public, rewarding pedestrians for good behavior, and making sure that we all have a safe and happy summer. And I'll just leave you with this. I told you that New Jersey is a pedestrian-focused state. Our goal, and I hope that you'll all join us in meeting that goal, is to, in a few years' time, be back here and say, we're now a pedestrian-friendly state. So please enjoy and join us for the demonstration, and we're around for any questions or anything anyone has. Thank you so much.